everybody. This is Leanne Lamb. I'm with Contemporary Asian Theater Scene, and I'd like to welcome you to the CATS Interview Artist Series. Today, I'm very excited to welcome the filmmakers of Happy Cleaners. We have Julian Kim and Peter S. Lee. Welcome, guys. Thanks so much
for having us.
coming in from the East Coast. I'd like to welcome our sponsors, Cirrus Law with Lori June, and Fancy Flavors, the folks that make the best macaroons in Silicon Valley. So without ado, I'd like to really appreciate you guys coming on the program today. You've been making a global round on film festivals for the last year. I think your last one you might have mentioned, you were in Nepal and Ashland. How was it being in Nepal and Ashland then?
Nepal was the last festival we were at physically there, and that was an amazing experience back in February, right when actually COVID was going around in Asia. So it was just an interesting experience. First time being in that part of the world and to share our film and American narrative overseas was just a tremendous experience. And then Ashland ended up being a virtual screening, which just happened a few weeks ago. So now we got experience with both.
Excellent. I think you were mentioning that, there's just like something about an online film festival. It's great for the people watching. A little bit more challenging on the filmmaker side because you totally get your energy, your real and authentic responses from the folks. So I think one thing I'd like to encourage is for folks, if you can, everyone mute your lines because you're active right now. Mute your lines, and also on the upper right-hand corner, go to speaker view and you'll see the folks that are speaking at the time. Also, just so Peter and Julian have that extra bit of information, if you can put your favorite moment in the film, Happy Cleaners, or if you have a question, we'll get to that a little bit later on. So that sounds great. We're going to see a little clip a little bit, but before we do that, can you give us a quick overview on the film for those who might not have seen it, or just to remind people on what it was all about?
Yeah, the film Happy Cleaners is about a Korean American immigrant family, and there's battle over cultural differences as they try to assimilate to this kind of country, the new country that they just kind of adopt into. So. And then, at the same time, they're trying to keep their dry cleaning business afloat in this diverse neighborhood in Flushing. So that's what it really is about. It's a family story. It's a story of immigrant story, and I think it's an authentic story for us. Yeah.
Great. We're just going to roll the clip now.
How long did you have this business?
We have been here for 17 years.
다음 달에는 좀 나아지겠지.
누가 우리 편을 들어주니? 아무도 우리 편 안 들어줘.
It's not my fault you live like this.
너 엄마 아빠가 어떻게 살았는지 네가 알아?
What am I gonna leave behind? I inherited all this debt and struggle from my parents because their American dream fell apart.
Are you gonna work like this forever? Why can't you respect my decision?
야, 아니야.
You ever wonder if our family's blessed or cursed?
And this is our story, couldn't decide for me. But I'm not living wondering, yo man, if I only I'm gonna make it here cause my mama deserved it. She tried to make my life perfect with some laundry detergent.
It's just the fate of being children of immigrants. And it's even embedded in our ethnicity in a form of a hyphen.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Great. Well, just want to thank you so much. That was a beautiful clip. And one thing, we really appreciate you guys coming out to the SVAP Film Fest that we had last November. It was a sold out show, and people were just waiting. It was their closing night show, and so it was a fabulous experience. We had a great time, and I think there was a lot of people who said personally that this resonated with their experience growing up. And I was wondering if you can talk about what your inspiration in making this film was all about.
Well, we always love to start off by saying that this is a collective experience of our friends, just folks that we grew up with in this community of Flushing. And so our source of inspiration really is life. This is, uh, you know, the life that Julian and I grew up living. Our friends are a lot of what cast member, crew members have experienced firsthand. And so while, every single moment of the story is not exactly something that, like I didn't do as a dry clean, story or anything like that. But there were just moments of truth that everybody in our community experienced. We just kind of put them together to show a slice of life here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's great. Just a side note. I actually talked to a Happy Cleaners that's in Los Gatos, which just like just a few minutes from San Jose. They were actually a Korean dry cleaner, and now it's owned by and operated by a Vietnamese family. Oh. And so she was, so if anyone wants to go to Happy Cleaners and continue the experience, they're selling masks. So that's sort of cool.
Did you tell them there's a movie about their cleaner's name?
Yeah, it's like, I just had to check.
I see.
So you guys grew up together? It's like, how did this collaboration actually come together?
Yeah, so we were like kind of high school friends. Peter, and I first met Peter when I was like 16, and he was like 14. Well, I don't know. I forget math. But we, grew up in high school. We met at a Korean church in Flushing, and then we kind of went our own ways. But I always knew, he was into film. So when I was into making my senior thesis film in college, I asked him and reached out to him. I said, hey, can you come out and help me out in my film project? And he wasn't in film studies at the time. So he was like kind of hesitant. It's like, no, I never done this before. I don't know. I was like, no, it's okay. I just need someone I can trust with my money. And that's kind of like how we started. And ever since then, I think, I really, I think there was like this chemistry. We worked together. We just kind of clicked. So we just kind of collaborated in multiple shorts and video and projects together, and always dreamt about making a feature film. And this was kind of like the birth of our debut feature film together as friends and as childhood buddies.
Well, that's wonderful to at least to have that kind of closeness and trust, as you mentioned. It's when I was looking at a number of the other interviews that you've done, it was really apparent that not only the people, you're talking about a family, but this is a family between you, the cast, the production team. Is that normal? Is that, and what kind of benefit did you get out of that?
Well, I'm not sure. Well, I haven't been around enough sets to tell you whether if it's normal or not, but I think that we definitely, made a little bit of history, at least among, our friends, largely because with the crew, whether they're cinematographer, audio mixer, gaffer, like a lot of these, key positions, they're all friends that we went to school with, and, they're working professionals in their own areas of expertise, but we all dreamt together one day we're going to come together to make a feature. And when we finally were able to present this opportunity, I mean, they were just as excited as we were. And, we went to battle for 21 days. And without those folks, this film wouldn't be here.
Yeah, that sounds fabulous. And it really, if it's a dream come true, then the product was well worth it. Just on the trailer, we saw so much different food. I think it's about time. You probably have eaten out there, but we're getting hungry out here. It's like, can you talk about, food and food, the importance of food in your film and also within the Korean culture?
There's two things you wanted to do with food. I think the first thing was food is the way we express love and the way we talk and communicate with our family members. It's also a way that we kind of, ask how they're doing. It's a way that, it's a place where people could come to as well, So we wanted to kind of make sure that food was a setting and an instrument almost to make that happen, to move almost a narrative forward in a certain way. So it was a big character in the film. And second part was you wanted to shy away from the kind of popular Korean dishes but do more authentic Korean foods that, you know, we grew up eating. So you're not going to see like big kimchi shots, or you're not going to see like Korean barbecues, but you're going to see a lot of like these home kind of dishes that, you know, we grew up enjoy eating, like the what's it, the acorn jelly dish, and also like the chicken casserole. Like those kind of stuff is like what it's our soul food, and I think we wanted to make sure that that was authentically portrayed in the film. So yeah, so food is definitely something that's very important in film.
That sounds good. I'm really curious about that acorn jelly, since it was,
Yeah.
It sounds really intriguing. Sounds really yummy. It's, you know, when we're having this conversation, I don't think we can deny what's really happening in the world today, you know, whether it be COVID, whether it be the racial injustice that's happening, you know, and I'm just changing this a little bit, but how has that really affected your world right now? Either it's filmmakers or in the films that you might think about making.
Well, I think, you know, with a lot of other industries, I mean, you know, there is a pause. So, you know, there isn't much work necessarily, as well as, like, you know, if you're talking about opportunity to present, the way we're gonna start seeing, you know, films going to theaters, that culture is definitely going to change. So right now, we, I guess, would have to think about how we're going to adapt to this. Now, you know, with the social justice, you know, issues, I mean, I think we, you know, as Asian Americans, we have our own work to do to show support, you know, with the Black community. But also it's an opportunity for us to also just kind of tell our stories as well. Because it's like, I think that the beauty of, you know, film is you have an opportunity to show a human story, and when others sort of see you for who you are and you sort of humanize your experiences, perhaps we can, you know, build bridges and get over some of these misconceptions that we have of each other, and perhaps have a dialogue that allows us to have a better future, really. And so I really hope that during this opportunity, more, you know, human stories can come out, and, you know, to just build more bridges among communities.
Excellent point. You know, we don't identify us by what we do. It's more of like where we came from and how common that might be. You know, one of the things that we're going to be doing in the next few weeks is actually a program on, you know, Asian African American solidarity, because there are so many common touch points that we have together that we might not realize initially, but that's something really important to begin to acknowledge and to begin to heal and to move forward. So excellent point. You know, one question I have is about, in looking at the trailer again, the music. The music was, it ranged, and it was hot, you know, hip hop. It was, it had such a nice gamut. And I was wondering if you can talk about, how did you source that kind of music, and, you know, how does other folks get engaged with that?
Right. So we wanted to make sure this was a collaborative experience in terms of, you know, not just Peter and myself, but also in everyone's department. And music was one part of the film. We wanted to make it diverse, not only in genre, but also in reach and representation. So almost everyone involved in the music were of Asian American and Pacific Islanders. And like, I think more than, I don't remember the exact percentage, but definitely more than half were Korean Americans. And we had different musics and different people and different backgrounds being involved in our film. So yeah, we have, like, our opening track is a track by Nancy E and Izzy Man. They're both Flushing natives. And once we told the story, like, they were like, I got this, I know what to do. And they just kind of wrote around, and then we, like, fell in love with it. And then the last track, the ending track, which is called Word to the Hyphen by Ear of the Ox, is a Korean American rap duo. And they're based in Virginia, but their parents, one of the rappers' parents, is also a cleaner's kid. So once we told them about the story and the plot, he also was like, okay, I got it. I know what to do. I know what to write. And then I just said hyphen, just write about hyphen. And then the next morning, like he just gave us a track. And I think, you know, Peter, myself, and we were all in different locations, but when we heard the track, we had like this um, kind of healing experience
We
almost.
cried.
Like, yeah, we cried, like literally cried. And then we called each other, like, yo, are you crying? Like, I'm crying. Are you crying? Then so it was like this, it was so like good, you know, and it just got to us. And at that point, I don't think he even watched the film. Like, I think he watched like part of the film. So we were very fortunate to have like multiple artists be involved in the film, and we're just very proud of that. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta ask, when you say hyphen, I got, you know, so we have a really big group of people in this audience and all ages and so on. How would you describe hyphen?
That's actually, I think it's a very gray area, but also hard to explain. I think, you know, even till now, I'm not really comfortable being completely transparent, comfortable to define what that is. All I know is, you know, I am a Korean American. I grew up in a kind of culturally Korean household, but I still associate myself as an American. So part of that is, you know, we are kind of that, well, I am part of that transitional generation. I think eventually our goal is that, you know, it doesn't matter who we are. It doesn't matter if we're, you know, Asian American, Black American, Indian American, whatever that might be. Ultimately, we are still an American, and we want that to be who we are. So until that day, I think culturally, like, I still have the Koreanness in me. Like, I will still root for Korea when we play in soccer, or when we go to the Olympics, you know, like there's like some kind of national pride there. But, you know, at the same time, we root and cheer for the American team. And I think that's just a duality that we live with, and something that maybe eventually, as generations go, they'll slowly fade, you know. But until then, we are this hyphen generation who carry this kind of dual culture, and will eventually, yeah, that's who we are. And I think just we have to be proud of that, really.
Yeah, I think it just sort of our conclusion, I think, was, you know, hyphen equals hybrid. Like that's really, you know, being children of immigrants, we have to straddle both worlds. And you know, there were many times Julian and I would have our walks just discussing where do we fit in all of this. And I think the conclusion was, we're neither fully this or that, but we're just some of these two parts. And I think that's a blessing. We get to experience very both, you know, rich cultures, and for that we are a hyphen.
Yep, yeah, it's like you're the best of both worlds. That's what I always like to say when I say I'm Chinese American. I always like to say I'm the best of Chinese, and I can take the best of American and put it together no matter where you are.
Right, totally.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Good, thank you for explaining that. Yeah, I think one of the elements about your film is the honesty that eventually, you know, comes through. For those who have not seen the film, there's a part where the mother, I hope I don't giving it away. Tell me if I am, but
it's okay.
There's a point where the mother explains what she feels about the fiance or the boyfriend, but she goes further. Oftentimes, a lot of Asian families tend to say that, and you're supposed to understand and just know why. But the fact that she goes forward and explains why it's really important, I thought that was a real pivotal part. Did you have a lot of thought behind that scene, because that was really strong?
Yeah, that was one of the scenes Peter kind of spearheaded and wrote. It was a beautiful scene, and it's like a really hard scene, to be quite honest. I mean, Peter, you want to kind of talk about that scene?
Well, so it's okay. So that scene isn't something, you know, that I've personally experienced, but it was sort of a creation of hearing tidbits from various women in my family. So you know, like, of course, like, our parents had marital problems. So you sort of, you know, as a kid, you get to overhear, or you just hear things too. You know, if you're old enough, you would remember certain circumstances, how like my aunt got married. And so all of these arguments, and, you know, having a conversation with my mom about some of these, issues, it was very clear why, and of course, there's also, when it comes to women of that generation, especially the mother's generation, there is also this very unfortunate reality of just it's sexism, right? There's such a sort of women weren't allowed to do a lot of things that they want to do as men were. So there's just this unfortunate expectation that women needed to be taken care of, and so with the new generation, and maybe the American ness of it, maybe you kind of push back against those sort of expectations. So I just wanted to capture that, and then of course, we also having gotten married ourselves and had friends in the marrying age. I mean, then we realized, oh, this conversation was happening amongst our friends and their parents too. So it's just like a sense of reality, yeah. And we really wanted to just show, like, sometimes a lot of the deep-seated anger just comes from basic marital problems, unfortunately.
Excellent. Thanks for the background. Yeah, I think let's move to some back behind the scenes films. There's actually a number of pictures that you provided, so let's go through those. It's like, so tell me about this apartment that you're actually filming in.
Oh yeah, this was
really happy because he's standing in front of an AC. It was really, really hot, with the lights on. He's smiling. He's hogging it. And but no, but that apartment is a New York City apartment. And Julian did a fantastic job calling up the Craigslist, a Korean owner, got us a place for a short-term rental. So.
Oh, that's funny. And how about the dry cleaners? How did you source that?
Oh, that was my uncle's dry cleaners. So I just asked him, like, hey, can we go film a movie here? And he was like, and I say, I'll give you some cash. And he's like, oh, okay, sure. Every weekend, so we would film every weekend, but I think he wasn't that happy. He wasn't expecting like a big crew coming in and touching clothes and like that jerk over there. But it was really cool, and he didn't get to watch the movie, but we got to talk after, and he was really happy and proud of it. So
that's great. But I mean, he actually was operating business during the weekend while you were there, right?
Yeah, during the week it was open, and then we just go in every Sunday and just film.
Oh, God.
We had 4 Sundays to get it done.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was rough.
Yeah.
Whoa, what's going on there?
Oh, so there was a scene where Dad had to look really tired, so we made him. I ran laps with him to fatigue him.
Stretching out. And now that scene, looking at the bridge and looking out towards the boroughs at New York, what was that all about?
I mean, I think a lot of us outer borough kids, Manhattan is sort of representative of this, making it in New York, right? So a lot of us did grow up just looking into, one day we'll have an apartment there, or one day we'll have an office job there. And so that's what that scene also really encapsulated. So many of us are outsiders looking into wanting a slice of that success.
Yum, look at that food. Oh my goodness. So who made the food?
Some of them, actually, my mom made some of the food, but for a good part of it, though, it was H Mart. We bought some from H Mart, and then our production team reassembled it.
Oh, that's awesome! Great. This is a great end of the cast, kind of like a toast with everyone that has a popsicle.
It was ice cream. Yeah, it was really hot, so it was just everybody's just punching on some ice cream.
Oh my gosh, hot in a crowded apartment. That's fabulous.
Yeah, the hot New York apartment.
Yeah, right.
Don't show any fire department folks though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I can remind folks, if you do have a question or if you have a favorite part that you'd like to share with Julian and Peter, please do so in the chat in Zoom or on our Facebook Live page. Please put your questions and we'll definitely get to those. Yeah, oh, someone goes, that really helped to empathize with the mom. Can see where Tiger Mom came from. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But the thing about the film we intentionally included was the apology. And you know, growing up, we never verbally say I'm sorry, but we wanted to make sure that that was verbally said and communicated through the film. So both the parents kind of apologize to the kids, and it was a way that, you know, we wanted to show and heal almost, with the certain kind of generational tensions we might have. But also, it's, yeah, I mean, it's not really, you know, tiger moms. You think like, oh, like hard moms, but really, like, you know what they really intend for. Like, you have, their heart is there for us, and they're giving all they can, all they want for us. So we want to make sure that that was being portrayed as well. Yeah.
Excellent. Any questions that anyone would like to ask? Otherwise, I have a couple of mine. Yeah, I was wondering, from a feedback standpoint, was there some kind of feedback that you got along the way that you didn't want to hear, but you knew it was important to hear?
Well, I think it definitely comes down to when we were trying for various film festivals. You know, like, our film is not something that mainstream America might flock to see. And so there are certain elements that we were advised by more seasoned filmmakers to re-edit a certain way so that it's more palatable for certain gatekeepers. And we knew, you know, those advice were meant for our benefit, but ultimately we couldn't follow them because that would just change the soul of film so much that we didn't want to compromise the authenticity. Because ultimately the film is really for our community. You know, we want it to show it as it is.
Excellent. I see Kerwin added a comment here, a question. Okay, I'm going to botch this, but how did you celebrate when Bun Joon-hook won?
Yeah.
Yeah, and how does that what does that mean to you as a Korean American filmmaker?
See, I actually didn't watch the Oscars in like the last couple of years, but this was one where I just kind of left it on in the back. And I remember when he first won, I think it was like the screenwriting award. I was like, whoa, he won. And then he won the directing award. I was like, what? Wait, what? And then when he won Best Picture, you know, I remember just sitting there, just like looking at it, and was like, did this really just happen? Like, I was for sure thinking like 1917 was gonna win or something, and then it kind of broke a lot of my expectations. I mean, I think it's definitely a victory in terms of, you know, people can now appreciate, you know, someone who's not of Caucasian descent kind of representing, you know, the high tops. So it was really monumental for there. But at the same time, just to be completely transparent, it's still a Korean foreign film. Like, it didn't represent America. And I think my goal, or Peter and our goal, is to really diversify what it means to be in American cinema. So, you know, it felt that it was a challenge as well. And we wanted to make sure that, you know, we put more beautiful movies out there that really represent what true America is.
Yeah, well, I think we really, you know, it's like Julian said, it's a win for South Korea, but until we see, you know, a good win from an Asian American filmmaker, I think that's the bar we wanna.
Yeah.
Homegrown talent. You want to see that.
Excellent. Yep. Okay. Another question is, whose idea was it to have Hyunhee and Danny date in Flushing? Was that a personal story?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's funny because out of all the characters we wrote in the film, Danny was the first character. And we had this kind of empathy and heart for this character, Danny. And he kind of represented both Peter and myself, and because all the struggles were just dumped on him. And yeah, like, you know, that's the reality that we face. It's like kind of walking, you know, you want to take them out to nice parks and nice restaurants. You want to buy the best, you know, biggest ring you can afford, but the reality says it's not true. And then when you're stuck with that and you're facing that, like, it's just hard. And I think like that was when I think I was getting ready to get married. I was like kind of proposing. And then it just kind of came out. And but yeah, between that, like Danny just means a lot to us. It just kind of yeah, I think there's so much to unpack about Danny. And then yeah, dates and Flushing.
Enough said about Flushing. Or
Yeah.
Flushing sounds like a great place. You really made it home.
Flushing?
I mean, yeah, we have a love-hate relationship with Flushing because it's a place. It's in some sense, it's our version of small town America, where it's a place where you know, we all kind of, well, I mean, I shouldn't say we all did, but wanting to get out, wanting to experience what else is out there. There's a very big, strong, you know, component of that. And, you know, some of us were able to, you know, leave, go out of state for college, and then some of us never came back. But there's also a lot of us that never got to leave. And that's the only world we know. And in some ways, you're also, your worldview is very limited when you're just there. That's all you know. And so we do have this love-hate relationship. It's home, but at the same time, there's also a place of a lot of pain too, because the working class neighborhood of, I mean, it's gotten a lot better now, but when we were growing up, I mean, you know, it was rough.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's I can understand that. I think people are asking about where can they watch the film? Is there an opportunity for Cats to do a private screening and so on? But can you remark on where the film is at this point? Because you've done your great cycle of film festivals. So what happens next?
So yeah, we're talking to Asian right now. We're trying to get it out there, but unfortunately, COVID. So we're trying to get to and pondering and brainstorming ways to release it and to do it right. But please just follow us on Happy Cleaners Film on Facebook, on Instagram. You can follow Peter and myself. Also, I tagged my Instagram handle here. So, you know, just hit us up. We'll definitely try to keep you guys updated with the film. And yeah, private screening. Let's talk after. Hopefully we can arrange something.
Steve, I guess we have a conversation.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, good. Well, this really helps round out our story. I think I want to close with a couple of 3 quick questions to both of you. All right. What's your go-to film?
I thought about this. 1 second.
It's a loaded question for a filmmaker, huh?
Yeah,
I could watch City of God a lot, over and over, if that makes any sense. But yeah.
Okay, cool. Peter?
I go back and forth between Only Son and Rome Open City. So I don't know.
Okay, cool. And if you could choose one superhero trait, what would it be?
Time travel.
Oh, that's a good one. Time travel.
I had to think about this one.
Julian, did you just sign up for that one too?
I like his answer better.
Okay. And all right, last question. What's your favorite boba drink?
Taro.
I think I would go back to Taro too. Taro, the classic. Yeah.
You guys think alike, and boy, I can see why you're buddies. No question about that one. This has been so interesting. Thank you so much. I hate to close this, but I want to thank our sponsors for the program, Fancy Flavors, who's provided us with a number of 2 sets of delicious macaroons, and we have a eagle eyes on both our Facebook site as well as Zoom. And the person who answers this question first will get it. The question is, what New York borough did this film take place? And I'm awaiting our winner. And Joanne is processing and tabulating or gathering our results. These are the best macaroons. If you haven't tried them, they're available. Look it up on their Facebook site. Oh, okay. I see answers in here. Okay, and our winner is Sharon Uyeda. Congratulations, Sharon. Sharon, yay. Sharon, I think you can go to the chat, obviously you know how, and privately send me your email and address and phone number, and we'll send these fancy flavors out to you.
Oh,
Great.
thank you.
Great.
It took me a while to input it in the right spot.
Yeah, you did it. You did it. Congratulations. Okay, we have 2 sets. We do have 2 sets of fancy flavors. So is there another one? I think it's one. It's one. Let me correct myself. I think I would like that right now. Okay, so all right, the next question, and our next sponsor, really like to do a shout out to Cirrus Law and Pauline Yun, who's provided 2, not 1, there's 2 winners that are going to be getting this takeout dinner for 2 at Silla Modern Korean Restaurant. This is, I looked this up, it's actually rated 4.5 stars on Yelp with over 200 reviews. So I think that's a bona fide great restaurant. So the question is, please name 1 Korean dish that was prepared during the film that you might have seen on the photos or on the trailer. Is that a tough one, guys? I just want to thank Cirrus Law and Lori Yoon. I think I did that incorrectly, but thank you so much, Lori. All right. Oh, I think I see somebody. Okay, Mickey Bell, you are the winner for our first acorn jelly. Mickey, you're our good friend, Mickey. Thanks for participating. Excellent. And I think that we have 2 winners here. So our second winner will be, I'm waiting for our consolidation from Joanne. Our second winner, Sylvia, I think I see you in the Zoom chat as well. So congratulations. Yay, Sylvia. Okay, we're going to, I just wanted to thank you so much, Julian. Thanks, Peter, on your on joining our call. I know it's like 99 degrees back there in New York, probably with a load of humidity, but you guys look cool and calm. So thank you so much for joining our program. And if anyone wants to share some of their thoughts and say hello, you can, we're unmuting you and you can actually sort of say hello. Hey,
hi.